Fernando, why did you pick The Apartment for us?
Well, I was having trouble picking a movie, and I was like, well, surely the Academy knows what they're doing. I first picked the year 1989 because that's the year Taylor Swift was born. And then I was like, well, maybe I should just pick 1960 instead. And yeah, that was the winner, I think, of Best Film.
Really?
Yes.
1960.
I think. Or 1961. Either 1960 or 1961.
I guess they awarded the Oscar in 1961 for films in 1960.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, that was the reason.
And did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it more than I thought that I would. It was in black and white, and I was like, oh, yet again. This is fine.
You were surprised it was in black and white?
No, I mean, I was surprised. Yeah, I was somehow surprised that it was in black and white because, yes, I suppose that the Academy has been here long enough for movies to be in black and white, but I, for some reason, thought that movies that won Best Picture were always in colour.
Okay. I'm going to say that for any given year, the chance of a black and white film winning is dramatically higher than you'd expect.
What?
Like, what, in 94, Schindler's List won?
I had some red in it.
That was black and white. The Artist won in 2016 or something, or 2011. High density of black and white films, even in recent years.
I might be wrong again, but I think that during that time they were offering prizes for both movies as in different categories.
Oh.
So for movies in black and white and movies in colour.
Wow.
Yes.
Now that's an odd one.
I mean, if not best movie, certainly other categories.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess this was towards the end of like routine films being done in black and white, wasn't
Towards the end of Dark Age.
I guess like The Haunting.
Into the colour age.
Yes.
The real dark ages in moving pictures of black and white.
Did you enjoy it, Claire?
I did, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, thought it was a good film.
What about you, Mike?
Oh, I thought it was great. I loved it.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
That's nice.
Right. Play the music. We'll go home. Good film.
Yep. Yeah, it was excellent. I found it. What a great Jack Lemmon, so watchable.
Oh, which one was Jack Lemmon?
The
Protagonist?
yes,
Baxter.
Baxter.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen Some Like It Hot?
No.
Don't smile like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought he was wonderful. He was just so sweet and so sort of naive and kind of made so many bad decisions, but just through a good heart. It's nice.
I didn't take any notes. But Claire, do you have notes?
I do have notes. I was explaining to Michael just before we began that I spent quite a long time at the start of the film working out what percentage of his salary he spends on rent and how that compares to a PhD student in St Andrews. And I think at an estimate we spend about 41% of our salary, or our stipend, and he was only spending 23%, and that was in the city centre. Yeah, so that's not fair.
No, that's not fair.
It's not got anything to do with the film though. It's just a comment.
I wondered whether he was charging for every time that they went to his apartment. Oh.
Don't think so.
No, it seemed that he was doing it for favours and for promotion at work, which he did get, and therefore got a lot of money that way.
I wonder if it would have been a better idea not only to get favours and promotions, but for the rent to pay its own rent.
Yeah.
It becomes a bit brothely when you do it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was already like that.
Seriously seedy, wasn't it?
I mean, just letting people go to your house to have sex with other people, I think that is quite like that.
Mm.
Even if you're not paying.
Yeah.
Awkward.
I did.
Poor neighbours. Sure.
Yeah.
The noise they must have to put up with.
And they weren't happy with him, were they?
No, they weren't.
But still came to him when he was in need.
Mm.
Good neighbours.
Mm. Or as they said, when that poor girl's in need, and just berated him the whole time.
Mrs. Dreyfus, I wonder if I could borrow some coffee. And maybe an orange and a couple of eggs.
Eggs, he asks me for. Oranges. What you need is a good horsewhipping.
Ma'am?
From me, the doctor has no secrets. Poor girl, how could you do a thing like
Please,
that?
I didn't do anything, honest. It's just, I mean, you take a girl out a couple of times a week just for laughs, and right away she thinks you're getting serious, marriage-wise.
Big shot. For you, I wouldn't lift a finger. But for her, I'll fix a little something to eat.
Quite rightly. He needed to sort his life out.
Yeah.
But also, that wasn't his fault. But they didn't know that. Yeah, bless him.
Yeah.
That was a dramatic plot turn. The suicide attempt. I wasn't expecting it at all.
If I had to criticise the film, it would be that I don't know whether they really presented that with the gravity it should have had.
No, probably not.
It was a bit sort of all over the place and kind of this. I think this is still a comedy, but they're trying to keep it quite light-hearted, and yet also there's fairly serious suicide plots. Yeah, but maybe that made it worth watching. Maybe that took it from just some cute comedy to something with some gravitas.
Yeah, I found that quite tough to watch. I don't particularly like storylines with that. But I don't know if that made it easier for me that they didn't like get into it. You know, at the time they were showing it was just a case of like getting her healthy again and back to her family. So it wasn't like the big in-depth recovery that she obviously had to go through afterwards.
It was very flippant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very flippant suicide.
It was.
With no underlying issues whatsoever. To be addressed at a later date. Also, the doctor, not what you should do when someone's overdosed.
Yeah, I was
Very
wondering about
much
that. So I thought that there's one of two things that's happening here. Either we've learned a lot about medicine since then, and we now know that the thing to do when someone's had an overdose is not to slap them, give them a load of coffee, and shout at them. And the other possibility is just that the people writing the film didn't really look it up and just thought, I think that's what you do, isn't it? And left it at that.
I think there's certainly huge conceptions that when someone's had an overdose, what you need to do is like keep them awake and like walk them round. Because I had to go to overdose training for my PhD just in case something like that happened. And they said that like so many people, especially like users themselves, think that you need to walk someone. Like it's actually like a tip that people have had. Like you need to get them up, start them walking around the living room, or slap them, put them in a bath.
Yeah.
When actually, like what if you've done is taken a load of depressants, then your lungs are going to be like not working at capacity. So the worst thing you could do is force someone to like exercise.
Right.
Yeah.
So that whole scene is based on a common misconception.
Very much so. I think so. Yeah.
I've
But
never heard of
I
that.
don't know if medical professionals. I'm not aware of how. Obviously not anymore. But maybe in the 60s they also had that misconception.
So what are you supposed to do then? Just in case anyone listening.
Put them in a recovery position and phone an ambulance, essentially.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sort of generally don't put stress on their body, right?
Yeah. Try not to cause them further injury.
Yeah. I did feel so bad from being slapped just like again and again. Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, and the coffee. That's people think that you can balance out taking loads of depressants with a stimulant, and actually that's just going to put even more pressure on your heart and lungs.
Yeah, okay.
Because you're trying to you can see the logic. You're trying to reverse the.
Yeah.
But when actually you're just making things like contradict each other within your body, then your body can't handle it even more.
Yeah, but like that's quite a common thing in medicine. Like it's like why they give people with hypothermia brandy, because it like brings some colour to your cheeks, so you must be getting warmer. So all that does is make you get colder faster. Yeah, there's some really, really bad ideas historically in medicine.
Right, okay, that's at least put that scene into some perspective, because I just thought this is absurd. What the hell am I watching here? But yeah, that's at least based on something that people think.
I did read in a Cracked article that you should like rouse people every so often just to make sure they are still conscious, but not like keep them awake.
Yeah, okay. So while we're on bad decisions that good characters made, I'll get these out of the way because I absolutely loved Baxter. I thought he was such a wonderful guy, but there were a lot of decisions he made that were really dumb and really really sabotaged himself and people around him. So firstly, he shouldn't have gone along with the whole hiring his apartment out to what's the word? Womanizing executives. But also, I thought he made some bad decisions when he was looking after Miss Kubelik. One of which was to stop her from contacting her family. Yeah. And again, I think although this was an interesting part, right? Because he was so innocent and so sweet throughout the whole of it. But then he did this thing where she was going to leave, and he said, "Oh, the doctor said you should stay in bed for 48 hours." And actually the doctor had said 24 hours, and that 24 hours was up. He was like deliberately telling her a longer time.
Scoundrel.
Yeah.
He did a few things like that that were very much on the line of you're harassing this woman.
Yeah.
Oh, like looking up all of her personal details on the set.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, there were a few things that would be seen very differently now if they were seen differently back then.
Your mum would definitely say, "Oh, isn't that sweet?"
Yeah.
So romantic.
It was the way he said it as well that I guess is just loaded down with so much we think about sort of creepy harassers now, which is, "Oh, I know a lot more than that about you. I know your social security number."
There's a great little band at El Chico, the village. It's practically around the corner from where you live.
Sounds good. How do you know where I live?
Oh, boy. You know who you live with. Sister, brother-in-law. I know when you were born and where. I know all sorts of things about you.
How come?
Oh, a couple of months ago, I looked up your card in the group insurance file. I know your height, said your weight, and your social security number. You had bumps, had measles, and you had your appendix out.
Don't mention the appendix to the fellas in the office, okay? I wouldn't want them to get the wrong idea about how you found out. Bye.
I've been to your house several times.
Remember your cat died last year?
Which, like, if somebody definitely likes you and they're definitely happy for you to do that, that's okay, but he didn't really know that.
No. No, he didn't.
Funny.
Also, like, bringing your drinks, dragging her out to the party. Just give it a rest.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
not into you.
Oh, yeah, and she was... Yeah, so we knew that she was into him, but she was going through some real stuff, wasn't she?
I don't think we did know that she was. I don't think she liked him until he looked after her.
Really?
Yeah, I thought she, like, was a bit fond of him. She thought he was a nice guy, but I don't think she had any romantic interest in him.
Oh, yeah, I think there's something that she even says herself, doesn't she? Why couldn't I fall in love with someone nice like you?
Oh, what
must have been a punch in the gut to him.
Women!
What are they like?
I would actually like to believe that she actually never changed her mind, and that she was just grateful for him having behaved nicely at least once or in the end. But the fact that she did not say "I love you" back when he said it in the last scene, the way that I prefer to interpret it is that she's actually still not in love with him, but she just is enjoying a nice evening with him.
She really sprinted for that game of gin rummy. She's like, oh my god, we've still got to finish that game.
Yeah.
I've got to go right now.
You don't start a game and not finish it, right? Yeah, it was such a... I absolutely loved that for a final line. What was it he said?
Did you hear what I said, Miss Kubelik? I absolutely adore you.
Shut up and deal.
With a great big grin on her face. It was the happiest ending and such a weird line to end on. But I couldn't work out exactly what she meant by that. What did you take from that?
I chose to interpret it in a different way. Now they're together. But I can very much see your interpretation of maybe they will just be very good friends.
No, I mean, I believe that it is intended for you to believe that they are now together, but given that I dislike that idea so much, that I prefer to believe that she doesn't like him.
I really think that there is something in that, though. You know?
Why do you prefer to believe that?
It just seemed that throughout the whole movie, she was not interested in him, and he was interested in someone that was not really interested in him. So why shouldn't he continue being in love with someone if she hasn't put in any effort at all?
Okay.
I also feel like he didn't really know her that well.
He'd read her file. He knew everything. He was a borderline stalker. No, he didn't know her that well, did he?
No. I feel like he still even didn't get to know her that well. After spending 48 hours with her.
I don't know, spending 48 hours with her and having gone through all of that with her, that is bound to elicit some kind of attachment, right?
Oh, attachment, sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't like he'd known her for years or anything. Can you love someone you've just recently met?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. Straightforward answer.
Let's talk about that later.
But, yeah. We'll talk about that off podcast. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there were hidden depths to her that he probably never got to see.
Oh, for sure.
I think he will, though. I reckon they're together at the end of the film, and she has maybe realised the importance of being with someone who loves you, rather than just finding someone you adore.
Yeah.
Because
also, why did she adore him? This horrible, sleazy asshole.
Now, I've spoken on a couple of occasions before about my problem with how can the woman possibly be into him, and this was one where I didn't feel that. I thought they did a really good job of making the villain, the boss. Do we remember his name?
Sheldrick
or something.
Sheldrick.
That's one.
I think they did a really good job of making him superficially charming. Whenever he spoke to her with... He was a little cruel and a little dismissive, but he was warm, and he spoke to her in such a way that he was like really leading her on, that he was really giving the impression that he had genuine affection for her. And when I was watching those scenes, I was thinking, I can see why she likes him. I really hope she will realise what he's doing and realise that that he's never actually going to come through for her and look after her if it comes to it. But he wasn't just like one of these, like the guy in Song to Song or the guy in Interview with the Vampire, where they're just utterly repulsive all the way through and never do anything good. But maybe you didn't feel that.
No, not at all.
Just utterly put off by him all the way through.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But he just seemed very cold. So it's interesting that you said that he was warm.
Yeah, even to start with, I thought maybe he was a good guy.
No, I always thought he seems like a snake. He's a snaky man.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they did the scenes well as well, which were, and again, this is quite a striking thing that they were making light of, how he would talk to her, and everything she said that was sort of objecting to his behaviour, he would turn round and present it as being her fault. He'd tell her off for being petulant, and if she would have some objection, she had quite a poetic way of describing things she wasn't happy with, and he'd say, "Oh no, you're just being ridiculous. Go and calm down." And
calm down, yeah.
Exactly. Just this way that he was constantly sort of putting her down whenever she was raising issues with him.
You remember what we talked about?
We talked about a lot of things.
I mean about my getting a divorce.
We didn't talk about it, Jeff. You did.
You didn't really believe me, did you?
I got it on a long-playing record now. Music to string her along by. My wife doesn't understand me. We haven't gotten along for years. You're the best thing that ever happened to me.
That's enough, Fran.
Just trust me, baby. We'll work it out somehow.
You're not being funny.
I wasn't trying.
Fran, if you'll just listen to me for a minute.
All right, I'm sorry.
I saw my lawyer this morning. I wanted his advice about the best way to handle it.
Handle what?
What do you think?
Let's get something straight, Jeff. I never asked you to leave your wife.
Of course not. You had nothing to do with it.
Are you sure that's what you want?
I'm sure. If you'll just tell me that you still love me.
You know I do.
I could see how somebody could fall for that, and I could see how he managed to string her along. I thought they wrote that so well in quite a chilling way to watch it from outside.
Classic.
But again, maybe you didn't think that. Maybe you didn't find it believable that she would stick to him.
I would say I did find it reasonably believable, but from a personal point of view, I was so angry that he was this way, and we could all see it so clearly.
Yeah.
But I can see why she saw it. I just found him personally repulsive.
Sure.
Which normally, you know.
Normally doesn't bother you.
No.
Yeah, I was proper outraged when he gave her the money, though. I was just so angry with him.
Oh yeah, didn't even get her a present.
No, if he hadn't given her a present, wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
Giving someone, it's just so sleazy.
Yeah, here's $100, and that's a lot of money, especially back then.
Well, rent was $94 a week.
Yeah, so that's a week's
Oh
rent.
no, that was wages. It was $85 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, it showed just such a disregard of just, I'll pay her off, keep her hanging on. Yeah, nasty.
What a bastard.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad she left him. But yeah, she hadn't completely sorted everything out, had she? She had a lot of demons.
Oh yeah, but she clearly had underlying mental health issues that you don't react that badly without other problems going on.
Well, I wonder. But I took that as simply she'd been through some awful stuff and it'd be enough to push anyone. But no, maybe that's not right. We certainly saw her as someone who had an unusual disposition, right? The way she would talk about things, as I say, was quite poetic, and she would say things that would be quite surprising. She was like Ophelia or something, just sort of obviously not well, and saying things that half made sense. It was great. Oh, and what a well-cast role as well. She had just these piercing eyes that seemed so sort of... They had so much expression behind them. Yeah. Yeah. And the short hair. Like the woman in The Haunting. Did she have short hair?
Oh, not the main character.
Theo?
Yeah.
Did she?
I'm trying to remember now. Maybe not that short. But yeah. Oh, yeah, I thought they discussed her really well.
Yeah. It was a very well cast film, actually. All the actors did there. Even the other sleazy executives, I quite enjoyed them.
Yeah, they were comedy sleazy, weren't they?
Yeah.
Did they get their revenge?
Well, they sent that very angry man, her brother.
Oh, yeah.
Brother-in-law.
Yeah. Oh, that he really should have just... Yeah, again, with it, his heart was in the right place, but like she's trying to call her family, and she's not quite planned out what she was going to say, and he interrupted, didn't he, and says, right, what are you actually going to tell them? Oh, I don't know. Well, have you thought this through? No, I haven't. So do you want to go and lie down? Yeah, I do. I was like, that's all true, and she didn't know what she was going to say, but what she needed to do right then that was better for everyone was her to say, I'm so sorry I had an overdose, come and pick me up, and for her to be actually taken care of by someone who's not just some guy at work whose apartment she woke up in. Yeah. Bless him. Yeah, I guess that was a weakness on his part, wasn't it? Oh.
Well, yeah, we've already established he was creepy and in love with her, so
yeah.
Once he's got her in the apartment, what else is he going to do?
Oh, but he was sweet, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was a nice guy, not like TM. Nice guy TM.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It was the 60s, what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know, I think that is the right attitude for this film. It would be easy to analyse it with today's modern lens and not get what they were getting at.
That poor man who was just his hat rack in the end.
His hat rack?
The only black guy in the film. Just trying to mop the floor by the elevator. But when as soon as he quits his job, he marches out, takes off his brand new hat, just pops it on the guy and goes into the lift. The guy's just standing there confused.
Why have I got
that? Thing that's going to happen to him today.
Oh, yeah.
The 60s.
60s where on Christmas Eve you can take home a married woman from a bar to the tune of "O Come All Ye Faithful."
What did we think of the music? Because I felt like they just played the same short clip of music just over and over and over and over again.
The music.
Oh, I did. They literally just placed the same theme from the beginning at every single moment.
Oh, the sort of vaguely jazzy dance tune that they were all dancing to?
No.
I don't remember now.
It's a really famous bit of music. I wonder if it came from this, but now I can't remember what it is. Maybe I'll look it up.
Okay.
Is this the incidental music or the music they were playing on records?
The incidental music.
Okay, now I don't remember now.
You'll recognise it.
Yeah.
Not this.
It's not this.
Well, it might come to this.
But yeah, it was an orchestra, wasn't it?
Oh, here we go.
I think that was a nice tune.
It's lovely. But again, they just played it
Yeah, okay.
every 5 minutes. Which is fine. Yeah. No, you don't recognise it.
No.
No, I think I've forgotten it. That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did watch it a week ago because we were going to meet last week and then we couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, still.
Oh.
I thought that was the same tune for a second. That would have been weird.
Yeah.
Oh, so the main thing that stood out in the category of it's the 60s was the guy in the lift slapping her ass.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, and this was made clear as something that you shouldn't do, and he was a bad character, and she told him off for it. But it was something it was something on the level of not taking your hat off when you get into the lift. It's like a rather ungentlemanly thing to do, and he should be ashamed of
It's
himself
not
rather
wrong,
than
we just don't do it.
yeah, rather than like his whole career should end. It was amazing just that. How has this interaction changed so much? That struck me. But again, her reaction told us so much about her character. There was this sort of, really odd reaction to it, where she made some almost flirty threat about chopping his hand off if he got in the lift again. And
watch your step. And watch your hands, Mr. Kirkby.
I beg your pardon?
One of these days I'm going to shut these doors on you and... 20 next.
You've not flirted much, have you?
It's like almost flirty. It's like he does that and then she makes a sort of joke about it, which I guess, what else can you do in the 60s? It seemed like we were one step away from, like, watching a carry-on film or something.
She was pretty much the only character with like a good sense of humour. I think she might be the only one who told jokes. Did Baxter tell many jokes?
No.
I don't think
he
so.
sort of had a bit of a Jim Carrey vibe, the actor, for me, in that he just had these weird tics, but they weren't really jokes that the character was making. He would just like when he was serving the spaghetti and
with the tennis racket. I like that.
It's a very physical kind of
Tim
comedy.
Curry type. I could have seen Tim Curry playing that character.
Really?
Yeah, I don't... That's just the vibe I got watching it.
Yeah. I don't see Tim Curry as having that innocence.
That's why he's an actor, though.
Okay. Oh, you could say that about anyone. You could say,
yep.
Emma Watson could play it because she's an actor and she can do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might just be the physicality of it or something.
Go on.
I was just going to say, related to the spaghetti, when he, like, months later, finds a bit of spaghetti on the tennis racket and somehow hasn't dried up. It's like still this soft bit of spaghetti that's been kept moist by...
Really damp apartment.
Yeah.
Also, that seemed like a wildly inefficient way to drain spaghetti. He lost like half of that spaghetti.
Yeah. I guess that's why most people don't know tennis rackets. I thought that was a good way of showing his like bachelor lifestyle. There's just kind of stuff everywhere, just about keeping his life together, but also, yeah, it's good. How did you cope with how old it was?
Yeah.
I liked it, as in, I don't feel like it was that old, mainly because I'm like, oh, if I like it, it can't be that old.
Okay.
Yes, even though it was black and white, it was drastically more dynamic than, say, Nosferatu.
Sure.
Had a very sharp, clear picture.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
Good.
What I wanted to ask is, what do you think the secretary told the wife? As in, clearly she told her that her husband was having an affair, but do you think she also admitted that she was one of the mistresses? Or did she keep that information a secret? Because, I mean, fair enough, I think she did not actually tell the wife because she thought it was the right thing to do. She just told the wife because she wanted to have revenge. And once you're telling some things, if you know that you've been complicit in the past, then maybe you tend to keep some information secret. Now, this information, as in, we never know what exactly she told the wife, but do you think she also admitted, oh, by the way, I'm also part of the problem?
Maybe she would see that as, like, intensifying the revenge. It was like, it was with me. Like,
cold.
Yeah, just really, like, vicious. Like... Don't know. Depends how angry she is.
Yeah, I have a feeling that character would protect herself a bit more.
Yes, I have the same feeling, yes. She's horrible.
She had a bit of... I thought she was alright. I mean, obviously a huge gossip.
Do you reckon, Michael?
I took it that she had confessed all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I took it as that because it seemed clear that this was a sort of reckless act of revenge, that she didn't care anymore, and therefore she was doing that. But you're right, she was, I guess, a sort of selfish character who probably wouldn't want to hurt herself like that.
Mm.
But yeah, she was gone anyway because she had nothing else to lose. Might as well burn your bridges.
Should I ring the bell?
Yeah. Have you got anything?
No.
Oh. Symbolism.
Claire, go on. You're really good at this. Give us something about the apartment.
None of this could fall under symbolism. Yeah, I've got he nodded in time to the calculator, which I felt was highlighting the routine of his job and his life.
Yeah, I love that.
And how this giving up of his apartment was also part of that routine.
I guess his character arc was very much intricately tied to how he negotiated people coming in and out of his apartment.
Yeah, that was just
Yeah.
what he did.
Yeah, his main arc was going from being a doormat to being someone who occasionally took a stand about something. Right?
Yeah. Also, he grew up a little, as his neighbour said.
Yeah.
Exposition neighbour. It's like, you need to get your life in order. You need to grow up and act like an adult.
Yeah, and he
Even though she didn't understand what was going on, you know. He was like, you're right, an adult would not behave this way.
Yeah.
I've got to get my shit together.
And he did. And he was rewarded with a possible sort of girlfriend.
I'm going for the happily ever after outcome with the two of them.
I think they at least started some kind of relationship.
I think our fondness would grow to love. Like in arranged marriages and stuff. Where quite often if you like each other, as you grow to depend on each other, you grow to love each other.
Like a Fiddler on the Roof.
Indeed.
Oh, after 25 years, it's good to know. Yeah, it's good at least that she was choosing to be with somebody that was actually good to her, and not maybe someone that she had some kind of magnetic attraction to, who was also a complete bastard. Was that the moral of the film? Bit of a grown-up moral, isn't it? We should all just stop following our heart and do something that's sensible, for God's sake. Grow up.
If you're a woman.
If you're a woman.
If you're a man, just pester a woman until she eventually falls in love with you.
Pester a woman until she went. Again, no. There were so many. He was given a lot of opportunities where he could have been like, look, I've done all these things for you, and actually he just tried to get her back with the awful scheming boss.
That's true.
And even when he'd fallen out and it had all gone wrong for him, he never spoke up against the boss until that very final moment.
Yeah. He was trying to make her happy and not hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
Not totally selfishly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And it was only when she found out from someone else what he had done for her that she decided to go back to him and finish the game of Rummy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I might have some potential symbolism here, right? So one of my notes is it's irresponsible to be at work when he's that sick.
Yeah.
Right?
He's spreading those germs around here.
He was so spreading those germs, right? So his act of like dedication to the work not only made him suffer, but put the people around him at risk. Just like his weird responsibility to these executives was not only ruining his life, it was allowing this immoral behaviour to happen around him. It was putting their...
letting it spread.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
Putting like their mortal souls at risk.
Well done.
Allowing that to happen.
Yes, this is excellent.
Yeah. How's that?
Yeah, that's good. That's better than what I was going to say.
Jesus, it must have been bad.
It was pretty bad. So I was going to recycle one from last time and say, is he like Jesus? It was all set at Christmas time.
Not everyone's like Jesus.
And they're singing hymns and stuff, and that puts us in this symbolic mind of Christianity. And he was sacrificing himself for everyone else, wasn't he? And ultimately losing his job defending Miss Kubelik.
Yeah.
What he wasn't doing was atoning for her sins, in my opinion. He was atoning for like the sins of all the other people who'd put upon her. But as I say, it wasn't as good as yours. That's the best I could do.
She's Moby Dick.
Oh!
These are all men trying to fucking harpoon her.
Yeah.
In the end, she flips the boat over.
And kills them all? I don't think that's what Moby Dick did.
Does Moby Dick get killed by one of them in the end?
No. Moby Dick smashes their ship and swims away.
What's the man's name in Moby Dick?
Ishmael.
Ishmael. I guess Mr. Sheldrake was
He's the
Ishmael.
only one that survives, right?
And we have to just assume that Baxter is some kind of partner whale. Moby Dick would presumably find.
Oh no, so, right, Ishmael is Baxter.
Okay.
Right? And Captain
Ahab.
Oh, right,
is Sheldrake.
Is Sheldrake.
Ah!
So she, like, just ruins him. Maybe the secretary, actually, is Moby Dick.
The brother-in-law is Moby Dick. And the guy in the bar is Ishmael. And the final credits are Captain Ahab.
In a sense.
And the sea is the medium of film.
We're all Moby Dick.
You guys are really screwing up. My Moby Dick analogy with Jaws was watertight. It was excellent.
Not like the boat.
Not like the boat. Yeah, the comparison between Jaws and Moby Dick was great. I think you're all belittling it by trying to bring it into The Graduate. Any other symbolism?
What about the overuse of wise at the end of nouns to make them into adjectives?
We didn't notice that.
Language-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Manpower-wise, promotion-wise, premium-wise, and billing-wise, October-wise.
I mean, manpower-wise, percentage-wise, percentage-wise,
Gratitude-wise,
decency-wise, and otherwise-wise, preliminary-wise, police-wise, or newspaper-wise, marriage-wise.
I mean Kubelik-wise,
cookie-wise, gracious living-wise, solution-wise,
Divorce-wise.
It's very wise.
I guess that's the way it crumbles. Cookie-wise.
There was a lot. There was a lot of
cookie-wise.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess that's how it crumbles, cookie-wise. That was his tick, wasn't it? That was Baxter's thing.
Maybe it was just.
And then eventually she did it at the end.
So there's symbolism right there and then.
Yep.
She's embracing him and his mannerisms.
Yeah, she's taken something from him, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Gained something. Yeah, I thought that was really sweet.
Mm-hmm. The elevator is the prison of her own mind.
Shit.
Everyone going in and out, but no one staying. And the only man that takes his hat off is the one she needs to be with. The only one that treats her mind with any respect.
Wow.
Jesus. This is deep.
So many layers to this film.
Yeah. Actually, I think that might be all the layers.
I think we might have invented layers.
I thought this was a good film. I thought it was really sweet. It made me smile a lot. It made me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
It shocked me as well. And I think with all of that, yeah. Oh, fantastic. I couldn't believe it. The moment near the end where you hear the bang, where he's popping the cork and you think it's a gun. Remember, she's running to his apartment. And I thought, is this going to be... I thought for a second it was actually happening. And that this was going to be a tragic end to the film.
They did heavily foreshadow
gut-wrenching.
that. Like, I mean, that was definitely what you were supposed to be worried about.
Yeah. Yeah. They made sure to show us the gun and everything, and but it wasn't that. I was happy. But yeah, I thought that was just going to be a mind-bending ending to the film, which would have been horrible, and I'm really glad it was positive in the end. With the one criticism in that final scene that I love so much, and it ends with her delivering the final line, and then he deals the cards, and they both have great big grins on their face, and it says "the end" and shows like some information about the film. And I'm sure he deals way too many cards. I think they were dealing like 7 for Gin Rummy, weren't they? And just because that scene goes on for a second for the final like crescendo, and he's dealing really fast and like grinning while he deals out the cards, and they get like half the pack each. And I found that distracting, and that's a shame.
That was just, he was distracted because he's so in love with her. And he was drunk on that sip of champagne that he'd had.
Yes, I expect that's it.
And they were not playing normal Rummy, they were playing Love Rummy.
Oh. Yeah, that's great.
Is that what we're ending on?
Yeah.
Love Rummy.
Yep. Sorry.
That's a wrap!
Oh no, we're not saying that every time! It's a wrap.
I think I've got a point of order here, though. On Michael's. Stephen Mulhern says she's true as a made-up catchphrase. Michael showed me clips of this. He's saying she's through because they're getting through to the next round.
It's such a hard T, though. It's like someone who's Irish saying she's through.
Is he Irish?
No. Well, his name's Mulhern, but
probably Irish.
He's so obviously like from London. She's true.
Maybe it's an homage to Roy Walker.
Maybe. He could have done a lot better if he had any respect for Roy Walker at all. He'd have resigned. Roy Walker's not even dead. He should be presenting it.
Oh.
Yes, people should work until the day they die, doing the things that I want
I can't imagine that he doesn't love presenting catchphrase. Because of the way he does it, he's obvious. That was why he was so good on catchphrase. So many of these like cheesy presenters, you can kind of tell they're hamming it up a bit, and they secretly feel like they're above it and they want to be doing Shakespeare or something. But he so obviously was so into it. He had such a genuine smile, and that's why people loved him. And he would tell these appalling jokes, and the whole crowd would roar with laughter just because he had this absence of cynicism that was so good. Oh, this is getting good. The imperfection almost makes it better. I won't tell him that.
We can tell there's real heart going into it.
Yeah, this is the piano practice of someone who's been wronged.
Back in that.
Should we just open the door a bit and have that be our music? Arriba! Who is it?
C.
That's me!
That's you, Claire.
I'm always first. I'm the best at getting my name picked out.
Yeah. That's good because I didn't know what film I was going to pick.
I just looked up the film I'm going to pick, and it's called Songcatcher, or The Songcatcher from 2000.
Okay.
Is that the sequel to Song to Song?
Songcatcher.